Hello and welcome everybody to the live check-in. My name is Irfan Dama and welcome. We have got a we have got a very lovely half hour show for you today. Maybe it might go into 45 minutes because keeping time is something that is not my strong suit. The topic of today's discussion is Ramadan and the preparation for Eid. The holy month of Ramadan begins on Monday or Tuesday, depending on when the moon has been sighted. And when this month comes around, Muslims all over the world will be observing a fast for 30 days. It is a month of solemnity, it is a month of getting centered with yourself and getting closer to God, getting closer to things that are more meaningful around you. I am talking about Ramadan because it is a very special time for me. Not many of you may know this, but those of you who went to school with me, especially, know that I was raised in a house where two religions were practiced. My mother is Catholic, my father was Muslim, and gave we gave the same reverence to both religions, and we grew up with this observance. And I wanted to talk about it just because this Cooking with Chef Dama is about a chef's approach to cooking. It's about the sharing of chef tips, tricks, recipes, and stories that is designed to help you become a better Indian cook. The life check in that I do one day a week is to encourage a conversation, is to remember things that, to talk about the memories and to talk about the experience that made who we are. Today I have invited three friends. Three friends, these are the friends I grew up with. We were friends that went to school together. And these are observant Muslims. They will be observing the month of Ramadan in one way or the other, with fast, with prayer, with solemnity, with giving up something in the attempt to be closer to God and self. And today I wanted to have this conversation with them. They are sitting by and waiting. So without any further ado, let's get started. Let me introduce my esteemed panel and let's begin this conversation about the upcoming month of Ramadan. And here we are. These are my friends. Thank you so much for joining on. My friends here today, Raazi, Arif, and Ejaz. We all went to school together. We went from like little younglings to the old men that we are. When I look at our faces, I go like, I'm now remembered. I now remember, I remember looking at my father when I was in school with you guys. It's like, don't we look like that? We look like our parents, on Teachers' Day and Parents' Day when the parents used to come. Now we have become those. So, thank you so much, guys, for joining. I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves. We all grew up in Bombay in our little town of Bandra, and now we are scattered all over the world, having moved and excelling in our respective fields. Razi, why don't you start and tell us about yourself? Welcome to the show. Razi, over to you.
Thanks for inviting me, Irfan. Yeah, so like you said, we grew up in Bandra. We've all been to school together. We've known each other for more than 40 years now. And growing up in Bandra was really good fun. Pretty tolerant community. I remember enjoying myself in Bandra. Spent the first 30 years in India working in IT as a freelancer. And then around about 2005, moved to the UK, and I've been in Glasgow and now London ever since. Uh, Obviously, different cultures, different experiences, but all of them have made me who I am today. That's me.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Arif Peshimam, why don't you tell us about your story from school all the way to where you are in Boston right now, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, thanks, Irfan. Hello, everybody. My name is Arif Peshimam. As Razi said, we grew up in Bandra and we went to the same school. I lived in India, Bombay, till I was 27. Then in fall 2000, I moved to the US after completing a medical school in India. I decided not to practice medicine, shifted to public health, got masters in public health. In the past 20 years, I've moved around quite a bit with my young family. I was in Ohio for some time, then moved to California, then went to Saudi Arabia for some time, back to Alabama, and now been based in Boston for the past. So I work for a pharmaceutical company now. It's French pharma Sanofi, and I'm in charge of biosafety. I'm the global head of biosafety for the company. And my job is mainly to make sure that the employees globally, when we work with infectious agents in R&D or manufacturing, my job is to make sure that they work safely.
Thanks so much. That's fantastic to see how much of the world you have traveled. Arif, I didn't know you were in California for a while. Which part of California were you at?
Riverside, California, at University of California.
At University of California. Is that that's Northern Cal or Southern
No,
Cal?
on the Riverside campus, Southern California.
Oh, Southern Cal.
It's
Okay.
the Riverside, California. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm in Northern Cal. The other side of the it's almost like a different country. But anyway, we'll go to the third person in our panel, and that is Ejaz. Ejaz, please tell us your story.
Sure. Hey, everyone. Thanks, Irfan, for inviting us on this day. So, my name is Ejaz Khan, originally from Bandra, Bombay. That's how I met Irfan, Arif, Razi during one of the best phases of my life in school. I did my engineering in Pune and then came to the US to pursue my master's in computer science in Pennsylvania State. Since then, I've been staying in the Philadelphia area for 20 plus years, currently working in the IT industry that caters to the legal software market. I am currently staying here with my wife and two beautiful girls. So yep, that's me.
Aw, thank you. That's really nice. I just want to take a minute before we launch into the topic to just say hello to those who have shown up. The first hello is from my sister Inka. I just have to say thanks, Inka. You have thanks for supporting your older goofy brother, who, in spite of tormenting you all these years, you are still supporting his crazy YouTube venture. Thank you so much. Also want to say hi to MG. Thank you for checking in. There is hello Francisco Melchor. Francisco is. I just wanted to say very briefly. Francisco is probably the best Indian cook I've ever cooked with. Francisco was my sous chef back in the days when I was at Google, and some of the best Indian food I can tell you guys was cooked by this Mexican man. He's an amazing cook, and someday I will have him on the show. So, hi Francisco. Hello, Simra from Philly, and Design Guru. Design Guru happens to be our friend Vinay Bachao. Vinay Bachao almost made it to the show because we were going to talk about his photography, but we'll do that at another point. So, thank you to everybody who's come in. If anybody else is watching, please please put in a comment to say hi, where you're from, so we know. Unless you put in a comment, we don't know if you're listening. So please say hi. Please check in. We have messages to go through. We're going to now roll on into the show. Let's get started. So. Firstly, the first question I wanted to go into, I wanted to go in with wanting to talk about this month, which has held such significance for me growing up. Some of my happiest memories of life, some of my happiest moments. I had a very happy childhood because I grew up as a child with my aunts, my dad's sisters. They lived in a joint family in on Hill Road in Bandra. And I grew up there, and that was the Muslim side of the family. And it was such a happy time. It was such a beautiful time to witness and be part of this month, the celebration of Eid, the solemnity of fasting. Later on, as I grew up, my father would take the whole family to Muhammad Ali Road for some of the best foods. Some of the most incredible dining experiences happen in the masjid area in Muhammad Ali Road. So it's because this is such a beautiful time and revolves around food. This is the topic of today. I wanted to start with I would like to shed some light on the significance of Ramadan, the story of Ramadan, how it started. So I would like to say, Raazi, would you, Raazi, oops, I think we lost Raazi for a second there. Well, Raazi was supposed to take this. He'll come back on. We're probably having technical difficulty, but he'll be back on soon. But the question is Ramadan, the significance of Ramadan. Who will shed some light on this? Arif, Ejaz? Oops, there's Razi's joining. Hold on. There you are, Raazi. Hi, welcome back. Raazi is in the UK right now, so I guess there's a little technical difficulty, but it's quite amazing. The moderators here sitting in Oakland, California. Raazi is in the UK. Arif and Ejaz are on the East Coast in different parts, and we're all getting together to make this happen. Raazi, we were talking about the significance of Ramadan, the history, the origins. Would you like to tell us a little bit about it? Why don't I let you take the microphone?
Okay. So the origin goes back to we celebrate the month of Ramadan because we believe our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the Quran was revealed to him at that time. We believe it's one of the odd days in the last 10 days of Ramadan. As we know, Islam observes a lunar calendar, and so what that means is it's around 10 days shorter than the solar calendar. So it's around about 355 days. And what that means is for Ramadan, it cycles through the entire calendar year. So sometimes you'll find Ramadan happening in the summer, sometimes in the winter. And accordingly, fasting, which is from dawn to dusk, the timings change for that. Typically, the way we observe a fast is you get up in the morning just before dawn. You have a small meal, say your prayers. As we know, Muslims pray 5 times a day. So the morning prayer, we say, go back to sleep or start your day. And then at dusk, once sun is set, you break your fast with a meal as well. During that period in between, you abstain from food, water, and you try from the spiritual side, you try and control your thoughts, and you try and live, you kind of have a spiritual reset during that month, and you try and live a really pious life for that period.
Thank you, Razi. That is that's enlightening. Arif, Ejaz, what does Ramadan mean to you? Tell us about your stories. Arif?
Yeah, sure, Irfan. For me, other than the obvious spiritual benefits of Ramadan, for me, Ramadan is about discipline and self-control, right? It's not just about abstaining from food and drink, but also, abstaining from, like, for example, swearing, lying, and sinning. It is also the month of giving charity, where most people, the needy people, is this month when it's encouraged to give charity to the needy. Personally, for me, sometimes we are our best Muslims only during Ramadan, right? But then Ramadan ends, you're this new transformed character. So, like, for me, I was a former very heavy smoker. I was a chain smoker, and magically during Ramadan, I would stop smoking all day, right? And then as soon as Ramadan ended, I would go back to my 40 cigarettes a day. So then I decided, like, if I can do this during Ramadan, so I'm sure I can quit smoking for good. So I tried to use this, and eventually I was able to quit smoking. Again, smoking is a very difficult, challenging addiction, and I think the month of Ramadan helped me overcome this completely. So that's some of the benefits I have seen personally from.
Thank you. As a former smoker myself, I too, Arif, like you, used to smoke. Well, 40 is so 40 is quite the charge. I used to do about a pack and a half, sometimes a pack to a pack, usually about a half a pack to a pack a day, depending on the week and the weekend. And I can agree, smoking is a very it's a very difficult habit to kick. It just becomes part of you. But I've also heard that if you it takes 21 days at least to form a habit, whether to break a habit or form a habit, it takes 21 days. And that's where it kind of piqued my interest, that in the 30 days you can reset yourself. And that's the beautiful part about Ramadan. Ejaz, why don't you chime in and tell us about tell us about Ramadan and what the significance of Ramadan is to you.
Sure. So yeah, obviously, among the things that Razi and Arif and you, Irfan, summarized, personally from me, it's a way to reconnect with the God Almighty. So every year, we feel fortunate to be a part of this month where we get a chance to reconnect ourselves and pretty much recharge and refresh. So anything that in terms of controlling our sins and anything that we need to do, it's a good way to start and then continue even after that. So whatever we do in our daily lives, if we get a chance to do a bit more in terms of good deeds or whatever, I think this is a good month to kind of start and then continue moving forward. And yeah, I mean, again, as Arif mentioned, abstaining from food, yeah, I mean, that's a way to kind of appreciate the things that we have in life. There are other less fortunate people around the world where who don't get as much food or drinking water and all that. So just appreciating the fact that when we don't have that for certain hours during the day, that makes us appreciate it much more. So definitely that way.
Thanks, Ejaz. That is, thank you for your inputs. I just wanna speak to the audience right now who are watching. I know that all of you who are watching this, friends, family. Please say a hello in the comment section. Please say hi to us so we know where you're checking in from. We'd love if you don't comment, we don't know who's watching. So if everyone watching could just put in a comment saying, hey, where were you from and who you're saying hi to, would be lovely. The intention of this is to have a conversation, not just among ourselves in the panel, but with the people watching. So your comments make this happen. Please give us a comment when you can. I'm going to move on to the next question. And the next question is the purpose of fasting. We spoke about that as to bring us closer to God. It is that fostering of community at the same time, and by fasting, everybody is in a common with a common motive, achieving a goal, and that is something beautiful. That is very growing up in our surroundings where everything is familiar to us. We have our friends, we have our family. Most of us who grew up in India will attest that your extended family, you could walk to the extended family. This is the longest. This is the longest we have ever. This is the longest we've. I'm sorry, Design Guru is messing with me. This is we have to walk to our. We have to walk like down the street, and we are there with our extended family. Now it is different as we are in a new country. So tell us how is Ramadan different for you in your new home away from Bombay? So who would like to tell us about how Ramadan is different? Arif, Ejaz, Raazi?
You want to take it, Arif?
Yeah, so for me, Ramadan is mainly different because remembering memories back from India. As you mentioned, the social impact of Ramadan was so significant, right? We had a family. I have like three brothers, a sister, extended family, cousins. So those family get-togethers, gatherings, that doesn't happen now in the U.S., right? I have my immediate family, wife, kids. We have friend circle. But now, I miss my mom. My dad is not there to celebrate with me. My brothers are not there. My sister is not there. So I think that's the biggest challenge of living so far away. You miss your immediate family, and especially during Ramadan, you miss them the most.
Yeah. How about you, Ejaz, Razi?
Yeah, I mean, from my standpoint, I think the environment over here obviously is a lot different than what we grew back home in India. So in India, we used to be breaking our fast, going to the mosques, and then breaking our fast in the mosque. So we have like, everybody making their meals at home and bringing it to the mosque to share with other people. So just that, sharing it is continued over here to some extent, but there, the kind of, laying down on a piece of cloth on the floor and sitting and eating together, just that feeling of togetherness. I definitely miss that over here. And I remember, shamefully admitting that, when we used to have a restaurant called Tava, I don't know if you guys remember, right off Turner
Mm-hmm.
Road.
Oh yeah.
So that was one of the high-end restaurants over there. So there used to be days of the week when they used to, donate food. Like, they obviously, food for them is like, I remember Baida roti is what they call it, I guess. So that's something that, they used to donate on a weekly basis. So we used to make it a point, that during those days we used to go there to the mosque to break our fast and then kind of, try to have the different kind of food. So just like, that feeling of feasting on food and all that. And that's one of the things that we miss over here.
Yeah. Yeah, that is exactly. I miss God Tawas Baida roti, man. If I can one day learn how to make that baida roti just as good as how Tawa used to do it, I will consider myself to have accomplished something great. Oh my God, the street food, the food. That's one of the things I miss when I go back to India. Well, I just gotta say before I move on to the next thing, I just want to say thank you to Arif's mom. Hello, thank you for checking in. So
Hi,
lovely.
mom.
Hey, that's so good. It's so lovely to see you there supporting your son. Aren't you proud of your son, Mrs. Peshimam? Please give us the comment below. I'm sure that he would love to read that for the world. An old friend. Check this out. Nigel from Canada. Do you guys remember Nigel? Hey Nigel, thank you for checking
Yep.
in. So
Hey,
lovely
Nigel.
to hear you, to see you. And um, here's a message from Vinay Bachao. How much do you guys miss Muhammad Ali Road and going there with friends and enjoying the amazing food? Uh, I have to tell you, the last time I visited there was 2020, just before in 2019, and I only that was the one time I wished I was a bovine. I wished I was a cow, because then I would have four stomachs to be able to put the food in, because one stomach is not enough when you go to Muhammad Ali Road. I have a very dear friend, Sanjay Chakravarti, who I went to college with, and he's a master of Muhammad Ali Road, and he gave me like the gourmet tour, and at the end of it, I could barely walk back to the train. But the next time I'm in Bombay, definitely gonna go on to that. Do you guys have any memories of Muhammad Ali Road?
Oh yes,
Tell,
I
please.
think I think it's a very unique, I would say, phenomenon because it's only during Ramadan that road which is packed with food stalls, but it's quite ad hoc. So people in their homes will open a sort of a ad hoc restaurant, and they'll sell food that's made from there. And then after Ramadan, that's it. All of those food stalls are closed, and traffic resumes as normal, and life resumes as normal. So you're only going to get that kind of food uh, in those 30 days. And I think most of Mumbai makes a beeline for that place at least once during Ramadan, and the food is absolutely amazing. Street food,
Yep.
but really really good.
I absolutely agree. My dad was the regular. He was the. I like to refer to my dad. I'm sure he's watching from up there and he's smiling. But I refer to my dad as like the sort of the Guy Fieri before there was even this concept of a Guy Fieri of the diners, drive-ins, and dives. Like my dad knew every dive, every little, every little. Every little corner that you could find good food. My dad knew exactly how to where it was and how to get it, and he would take the entire family on Eid for that. And I remember this one particular time where when you go to Muhammad Ali Road, hygiene and sanitation is something that goes a little down on the list. And we were sitting on a very makeshift table over a gutter. Like the table was over the gutter. I think one bench was on one side of the gutter, and there was like sewage water running underneath. And we were sitting and we were eating food and enjoying it, smells, whatever. It was still so good because there is literally, as Razi said, there is no place. There is no room for traffic. There's no room to walk, and you just make do. But I think that is part of the celebration. I also remember in Bamadari Road around this time, like there would be badminton matches going on all through the night. So the day would actually begin with iftar and would go all the way to Sairi. You would keep awake and there'll be eating and there'll be feasting happening all the time. It is such a beautiful thing. Um I want to yes. Does anyone have anything to comment about their memories?
I think the general rule in Muhammad Ali Road is if you can move your eyeballs, it's not crowded. There's place for more.
Oh, I
Yeah,
have
my,
this.
my personal favorite from Mount Ali Road is the Malpua. I mean, I have tasted that other places, but I haven't had any other place as that one. So
Oh my God.
yeah.
What a lovely message from your mom, Mrs. Peshimam. Thank you so much. Yes, I agree. He is. It's really lovely to have Arif. Actually, he reached out to come here, and it means so much. He reached out to Razi. I was gonna have initially it was just gonna be Razi and me, but Ejaz and Arif came on as last minute guests, and I'm so happy that you guys are here. But yes, he is an absolute wonderful person, and there's so much more to hear from him as we go through. I just wanted to then talk about what do you tell me about the foods that you start your day with, and tell me the foods that you end the day with. What is that like when you give? Because you start Sairi at 2:30 in the or 3:30 in the morning or something like that. Who tell us about that?
Yeah, I think I'll go for that. We start around 4:35, right? And early in the morning now, I usually start light. Nowadays, in the past few years, I start off with a few dates and a glass of milk. And dates is a fruit that kind of sustains me all day, right? So my sari is light, but iftar we go for the traditional kebabs and the bhajiyas, and the niharis, and so the sari, the iftar is the big meal. Talking of Muhammad Ali Road, and my mom is online, I'm watching. I didn't visit Muhammad Ali Road a lot during Ramadan because I got the best food at home, right? Uh, my mom, no offense, Irfan, but my mom and my sister are for me the best cooks, right? So I didn't feel the need to go to Muhammad Ali Road that often, but I did. I went to medical school in JJ Hospital, if you know where that is, Grant Medical College. It's right in that area. So the experience and everything was there, right? But if you want real food, I'll invite you home.
Oh, I, I will totally take you up on that offer because there is absolutely nothing like home cooked food. in the as in the past broadcast, I have my mother has reminded me that I have embarrassed her adequately on this channel by saying what a good cook she was and how her cooking has shaped my taste. So yeah, it's I completely agree that home cooked food is the best, and I can't wait to go and try that. I have a question from the DeMello family. The DeMello family is my cousin in New Jersey, and the question is, what is the most complicated and elaborate Ramadan food? Um, that's an interesting one. I don't know. For me, my first thing would be biryani, definitely, but that's more the Eid food. But I think my favorite is niyari. I think there is something incredible about that slow cooking process that takes 12 hours if it's done right to cook slowly to break down the toughest part of the animal and to make this sauce which glues your fingers together at the end of it because it's from the shank, which is really high in collagen. It is just so it's such a delicious dish, and it's also what I find very unique is that it is the one dish that is thickened with flour. Indian food is not necessarily thickened with flour, but this particular dish is thickened with flour, and it is one of my favorites to have nihari and roti. What about you guys? What do you think is the most complicated Ramadan food for you?
I
To
think
cook
for
or to
me it's
eat?
paya.
For you, it's paya.
Yeah.
That is true. Paya is definitely. I think paya and nyari are prepared in sort of a similar manner, right? It is like it's the trotters, it's the knuckles, and I have to just kind of do a little sidebar as we talk about the most complicated food. We bring out our paya and nyari. It is a testament to using the entire animal. And I think as the world progresses and as we have figured out how to mass produce meat, we've also become very picky with the food, the cuts of meat that we eat. We all want the best cuts of meat. We all want the best cuts of food. But when when an animal is slaughtered, it is injustice. It is not right to the animal to just pick the best parts and throw out the rest. And some of the cultures, the French, the Muslim cultures, where you cook every part of the animal and you turn it into something phenomenal. And paya and Niari are examples of that. And I just say high props to any cuisine that supports the full use of the animal from snout to tail. Because when an animal is slaughtered, you should really do justice by incorporating the entire animal. That is, I think, as humanity, I think that is the right thing to do. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the complicated part of it, but I mean, the ladies probably, the house take the brunt of all the cooking and everything else. So in terms of, in our house, we obviously had, we always break the fast with roux afza milk, mixed with milk. So that's usually always, along with dates, obviously. And then we try to break the baking of the fast a bit light with that. And then pakoras, maybe onion pakoras and maybe potato chips kind of thing. And then take a break for prayers. And then after prayers, yeah, I mean, a healthy meal, like when I say healthy, as in satisfying meal, like a biryani or, goat curry with rice and that sort. Maybe one or two items, not nothing elaborate, I would say, but just a couple of things. That kind of fills you up pretty good. So
That's cool. So you guys, when you guys are starving all through the day, what is the one thing that you look forward to break your fast with?
I think it's thirst by and large. I have two distinct phases. So in Mumbai, it was always a tropical climate. You traveled a lot, so obviously water was key. And then when you come in London, it's a pretty cold climate, and so you don't feel as thirsty. But then it's a very long fast. Like comparatively, in Mumbai, it was around 4:30 to probably 6:37, whereas over here it's around from 2:30 in the morning to around 9:30 in the night, and so then that gives you very little time for the next fast and then the next fast, and it goes on like that. So probably hunger is a little more. But the thing is, and I remember this, is initially it's fasting and feasting. So you get up in the morning and you really want to eat a lot, and you'll try and eat a lot. When you're a kid, that's what you do. You don't know how hard mom has worked, trying to cook up all of these dishes. You'll say, I want egg, mom. I want this. I want the mutton curry from last night, and all of these things. And you expect a full feast in the morning. And then in the evening, obviously, you're still hungry. And then you want, again, a choice of many dishes and savory and, fried stuff. But then as you understand the spiritual side of the fast, you try and, it moves to a more healthy way. So the more you eat, right, the more stuff you put into your stomach in the mornings, the enzymes that get released, they digest, and then they ask for more food. So by 10 in the morning, you're even more hungry, and you're even more, your body's asking for food. Whereas if you go for really light stuff like yogurt and, brown bread or chapati, wheat-based stuff, milk, which are slow releasing, slow GI, what will happen is you won't feel as hungry. And so it's a very light meal, but that lasts a lot longer, and you don't feel as thirsty or hungry. And so around 4 or 4:35, you may feel a bit of hunger. Then it takes you all the way up to 8:39, and you can break your fast.
Wow. So in the UK, when does Sehri happen? When does the fast break? And for you guys also on the East Coast, what time does it start?
UK it's around 2:33, and then you break fast at around 8:39. That's the general trend.
Wow. Is that the same for you guys on the East Coast?
Yeah, so it depends on time of the year, right? As Raazi said, in summers the days are really long, but now it's springtime, so the days are relatively shorter. Maybe the rosa will be 14 hours now, I think, on the East Coast. So it's not that bad compared to summer, or if you're in UK and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So maybe when it's Ramadan, you should plan a trip to a country where the days are really short.
Yeah.
I guess during
And
Ramadan,
that reminds.
yeah, go on, Ejaz.
Sorry to interrupt, Irfan.
No.
That reminds me that the first year when I came from India to the US, I was a student. So I was kind of sharing with somebody else, like a family at home. So that was the first Ramadan experience, and it was winter time. And obviously, I wasn't familiar with the climate changing and the cycle of when it will be happening throughout the year or throughout the coming years. But that was the shortest Ramadan I experienced, like 4:30 sunset and 5:36 or whatever Sehri time. So I was on top of the world, like this is the place to be in for Ramadan, like. But obviously not realizing that when summer came in, it was like tougher.
But what about the Muslims that live in the places where the sun doesn't set in summer, like Norway and up north? How does that happen? Razi, you were telling me that people actually will maintain the fast even when the sun doesn't set.
Well, Islam is, if you think of Islam, it's each one's journey, how they interpret, they read the Quran and they interpret and they live. So it's each one's memory of that journey. So similarly in Denmark and stuff, where the sun never sets, you can't possibly fast for 24 hours, 30 days in a row, because it's always bright. It's just always bright. So what they do over there, the ruling over there, or the recommendation is, you follow either nearby countries, whatever timings are going on, or you follow Saudi, which is the spiritual center of Islam. It's interpretations, but there are some people in the Muslim community in those countries who actually observe those really long fasts across 30 days. It is pretty. Kudos to them. We say you're a Muslim, wherein as a Muslim, you're born into the religion, or you come into the religion, and you observe the 5 pillars of Islam. But above a Muslim is a mu'min, which is you understand the spiritual side of Islam, and your thoughts and your actions and the way you behave are all attuned to what the religion recommends, and the way you live your life, and that attaining that is your iman. It's the way you live. It drives everything. It's in every pore of your body. And Muslims who have a lot of iman tend to say, you know what, I think I can do it. So to each his own.
Wow, that's really awesome. That's a really awesome input. I have a question here from my sister, and she goes, "Do you guys prep before Ramadan for the long fasting hours?" And I think we discussed that, but who wants to talk about how you prepare for Ramadan before Ramadan comes around? I think Arif, you had mentioned something, or Ejaz, about you do fasting before the month. Is that
Yeah,
right?
for me, just a couple of months before Ramadan, I will maybe fast every Monday or every Monday, Thursday, just to get in the mood of Ramadan, right? So it prepares your body for the fasting period. So maybe fast once a week for the 2 months before Ramadan. So that's how I do it. Yeah.
That's really great. Well, Ramadan ends with Eid, and so it's really great that the preparation is not just the 30 days, but even before that, and that is that you get mentally prepared, I suppose. But I think Ramadan is more about the test of your will. So you prepare even before Ramadan starts. You get into that mindset, so that when it goes through, you are going through this very very difficult month. And I think I just like to point out that when something is taken away from you, you have so much more appreciation for it. And if anything has proven that the last 1 year, the challenges of the last 1 year has been testament to that, because so much has been taken away from us, and now we relish the community, we relish human contact so much more. And I think in some way, do you agree with me that Ramadan is somewhat like that? By taking away, you gain a deeper appreciation for it. You love and you respect the food and where it comes from. But
Oh yes.
yes, Razi.
Yeah, I think the moment it's like Ramadan mode. Like the moment it starts, uh, automatically, because you're fasting, you come to know what the poor experience. You get a lot of humility, a lot of tolerance. You're a lot calmer, and I think when you do it for 30 continuous days, there's a sense of accomplishment as well. But there's a proper reset for the next 11 months of the year.
Thanks for sharing that. I'm looking at the time. I know that we have a hard stop pretty soon, uh, but I just want to say that when Ramadan ends, it's going to be Eid. What are your briefly tell me, guys? What are your favorite memories of Eid? Why don't you go, Ejaz?
Sure. So I think for me, Eid, obviously, as Radhi said, the accomplishment of, doing whatever we could in terms of good deeds for the month of Ramadan, just kind of, giving a pat on your back and hopefully to continue for the rest of the year. But besides that, in terms of festivities, kind of, in India at least, we used to have the sense of, sharing. Obviously the staple food for Eid is, as you guys might be aware, sheer korma and sevaiya. Those were the pretty common things being cooked at our homes. So we used to go around in our neighbors, serve them, and share with them. That kind of is a hint that yesterday is Eid. And I know we talked about this yesterday as well. Eid is another, ritual of this. So for kids especially. So I remember when we used to be in India, we used to have neighbors who used to expect this. These sevaiya and sheer kurma every Eid. So we used to fight, among our brothers and sisters. Like, who used to go to which neighbors, because we knew this person was giving more Eid than the others. So we used to so that was funny when I remember those kind of stories. But over here, obviously, now it's the other way around. Now we have to give our kids and reward them with all of that. So we don't get Eid anymore because we've grown up. But yeah, missing all of that, definitely.
So I have a question. When kids come for Eid, do you guys whip out your cell phones and go like, "Okay, Venmo so much money in in the comment section, Eid." Yeah, Razi, Arif, any memories of Eid that you like to share with us?
I think you'd always have new clothes. As a community, as a family, you'd go to the mosque, you'd say your prayers. That's the first thing you'd do. Come back and have sheer kurma share it with your neighbors. It was big community at that time. We would go to all the people in the building, in the apartment block, and give them sheer. Likewise, they would do the same. Christmas time, we'd get a lot of sweets, and Easter, we'd get marzipan and Easter eggs, and in Diwali, we'd get sweets. So it was a really good way of cultural exchange. Then after food, you just kind of relax in the house, have a good lunch, go out in the evenings for a movie or go into town, and it was just a day of relaxation.
So unfortunately, because of technical difficulties, there was a drop of, not sure what happened, but everything just went blank. And so I just wanted to finish this. Thank you everyone for showing up and contributing to this conversation. It was really lovely having you. Sorry that the panel could not be here to say their goodbyes and to give their shout outs. Just wanted to say a shout out to everyone who came on, and especially a shout out to the moms and the women and the families that make this happen. And thank you all for coming. This is going to be a beautiful month. We will catch you next week on the live check-in. We'll see you then, and hopefully next time we won't have any technical difficulties. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget, give us a subscription and give us a like if you enjoyed the show. This really helps us out. Thank you all so much. May you have a wonderful Ramadan. I will see you in the next week. Bye bye.